off today, and thank you for joining us for our monthly Board of Commissions meeting. It is, what time is it? 12:05, the 9th of June, 2026, at our GHURA main office here in Sinamania. And we'll go ahead and start with roll call. Commissioner Corpus.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Rice.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Torres.
Present.
Thank you. Chairman Rivera, Dr. Chairman Rivera is excused, and Commissioner Nisha is also excused. Moving on to board meetings and public announcements. First printing on Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. Second printing Sunday, June 7th, 2026. They're located in your packet. And I'm seeing them both there as well. Commissioners, any issues or questions? Okay, moving on to item number 3, approval of previous board minutes for the 26th of May, 2026. They're also located in your packets. Commissioners, if you have any concerns, questions, corrections. Yes.
Yes. That was helpful.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm not seeing any concerns, questions. May I get a motion on the floor to approve our previous board minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the previous board minutes for May 26, 2026.
Thank you, Commissioner Forbes. May I get a second?
Second that.
Thank you, and thank you, Commissioner Rice. And of course, may I also go ahead and take a vote, show of hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Previous board minutes have officially been approved. Thank you very much, Commissioners. And thank you, Ms. Audrey, for getting the previous board minutes out to the Commissioners at a respectable time. Thank you for all your work and your transcribing as well. Okay, moving on to item number 4, new business, intent of award, IFB GHURA-26007, insurance coverage for excess liability, automobile, and worker compensation. Madam Director, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. If I may ask that we table the first item of new business until the next meeting, please.
Yes, ma'am. Commissioners, we are tabling item, new business, item number 1 to our next board meeting. Okay, moving on. Item number 2, resolution number FY 2026-019. Resolution approving the amendments of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan. Floor is yours, Madam Director. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. I would like in your packet, there was included a memo dated June 2nd from Nicole Alejandro, our Section 8 Administrator. And it was a request for the approval and adoption of GHURA's revised Section 8 HCV Administrative Plan. So I'd like to just go over highlights of her letter. The proposed changes are intended to improve program efficiency while ensuring continued compliance with HUD regulations. The administrative plan defines the policies for operating the HCV or Housing Choice Voucher Program in accordance with HUD requirements. Periodic updates are necessary to align with new federal and local statutes and HUD notices, as well as to reflect operational changes. This amendment addresses the following key areas. 1, regulatory changes, updating policies as required by current regulations. 2nd, inspection standards, updating inspection methods and policies. 3rd, operational updates, revising operational policies and procedures. Attaches the summary of the proposed changes to the administrative plan, which further define the policies for operating the HCV program consistent with HUD requirements. The proposed changes were made available for public review for 69 days, starting March 3rd, 2026 to May 11th, 2026. A public hearing was held on May 11th, 2026 to receive community input. The following information was submitted and considered for implementation. The first bullet point is rental increase caps. Adherence to Guam Public Law, Title 18, Chapter 51 GCA, which limits rent increases to 5% per annum. The second bullet is operational updates, procedural changes to informal hearings and reviews, including increasing the document submission deadline from 3 days to 5 days. And the last bullet is remote hearing policies, provisions to hold remote hearings if a health risk is present, with the hearing synopsis to be shared via email or regular mail. The Section 8 team is dedicated to providing accurate and timely services to our participating families. To maintain program integrity and ensure compliance with HUD requirements, your review, approval, and adoption of the proposed amendments to the Section 8 HCV Administrative Plan are critical to the program's success. Thank you for your consideration. Now I will read resolution number FY 2026-019. Resolution to adopt proposed amendments to the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program Administrative Plan. Whereas 24 CFR Part 982.54A requires public housing agencies with a Section 8 program to adopt a written administrative plan that establishes local policies for the administration of the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program in accordance with requirements prescribed by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. And whereas 24 CFR 982.54A further states that the administrative plan and any revisions of the plan must be formally adopted by the PHA's Board of Commissioners, and 24 CFR 982.54C mandates all housing authorities administer the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program in accordance with the administrative plan. And whereas policies in the administrative plan have been amended to include recent statutory and regulatory changes, adding a policy allowing special purpose vouchers to transition to the regular Housing Choice Voucher Program, contingent on funding and availability of HCV vouchers, aligning with local Guam policies regarding landlord-tenant rental increase caps, update occupancy levels to maximize voucher utilization while maintaining compliance with housing quality standard requirements. And whereas policy modifications include discontinuation of the Earned Income Disallowance, or EID program, for individuals with disabilities as of January 1, 2026, revising the minimum income threshold for interim adjustments, introducing landlord fees for excessive 3rd/4th unit re-inspections, and implementation of photo documentation protocols for housing quality standard inspections. And whereas the revisions to the administrative plan policies for adoption here within consist of both mandatory and discretionary policies that are necessary to ensure access to fair and equal housing for all, and therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority hereby approves and adopts the 2026 proposed amendments to the Section 8 Administrative Plan for the Housing Choice Voucher Programs. And the following page, page 4 and page 5 actually have a really good table that shows the summary of the revisions for this plan, and it shows what the proposed changes are versus the current plan. And if you have any questions regarding the table, we do have our Section 8 Administrator, Nicole Alejandro, present to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Madam Director. Thank you, Nicole, for joining us today. Yes. Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Nicole? Commissioner Thomas?
Yes, so there's a bunch of reasons why they would be denied or suspended and all that, right? So when we write to these people, do we kind of spell it out for them as far as why did they got denied and?
So are you talking about I just want to be clear, this is for the participants attendance,
Yes.
right? Yes. So in the event that they are denied is usually in regards to any sort of application. So, yes, we do explain as to why they were denied or ineligible for, the Section 8. In regards to the suspension and or are you thinking maybe termination?
I'm thinking also maybe landlords, right? Maybe also that,
Okay, the landlords.
yeah.
Okay, so, for landlords to be denied. Okay, so for landlords to be denied, it's usually, we do have like a landlord packet. And so this landlord packet explains all the requirements and things that HUD requires for us to be in a contract with them. So if they're not able to meet those requirements, typically they are informed at the time of the intake. Why they are being denied at that point, and why they're ineligible. We do give them, a list of what is pending is what we call it. It's a word where we need the documents and we're giving them some time to retrieve it and to submit it. So we give them that option to do that. But in the event that they cannot produce it, unfortunately, right now the burden is on the families because their voucher is ticking, as what we call it. So they only have it for a short period of time. But usually in the case where the landlord cannot fulfill their part of submitting in documents, we move on to the tenant, issue them a new landlord packet and advise them, you may want to go look for another one because your landlord is ineligible. So.
And so, yeah, how about the landlords that are there, that were existing and then were removed because they failed to meet the subsequent, right?
Yes, yeah, we do unfortunately have those situations. One thing that comes to mind is failed inspections. So if we have a tenant who's residing in an area, and if you recall, every 2 years, we do our inspections, right, our biennials. And let's say we go out and unfortunately, the unit fails because it's the landlord's discrepancy. And the landlord doesn't fix it, we give them the allotted amount of time, either it's 24 hours for anything that's life-threatening, like a smoke detector, and or 30 days if it's something very minor, right? Not so much life-threatening. If they don't meet that threshold, again, the program is really based around having units that are safe, sanitary, and decent. And if they can uphold the that threshold, then we have to issue out the voucher to the family. But even at that case, we still give them 30 days, because we understand that it takes some time to move out, get a security deposit, things of that nature.
And that's all spelled out like in writing when you write it?
It is, yes. It's all in our notifications that we send out. There are some areas where we do shorten it, where we actually provide just the CFR, and then we do a short description of the 24 CFR regulation. And but we do a very good job at explaining to the families and or the landlords in that example. And if they have any questions, we also have contact information. They can email and they can call us. So if they need a better reason, or maybe they don't understand it, because we have some landlords who just don't really understand what 24 CFR is, right? So we're available to explain that to them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Cole.
You're welcome.
I have a question. So regarding the 3 implementations that we're doing, regulatory changes, inspection standards, and operational updates, has your staff encountered any issues with implementing these 3 new pillars?
Not Not that I've seen so far.
Okay.
We've been discussing this for a while, right?
Sure.
So, I get my supervisors engaged and I also get my staff engaged,
Right
right?
on.
So after this meeting, whichever way it goes, I will be reconvening with them and explaining to them what has been moved forward. But if anything, we really try to make, as Nicholas had mentioned, the program as efficient as possible.
Sure.
And some of these changes here will help us with that. It will
Great.
also help us with our budget constraints that we've been experiencing over the years.
Sure.
It really guides us as to how we address certain areas to help and be sure that we don't go over budget.
That's your gauge, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're also prioritizing based on throughout the course of the contract or the year,
Yes.
your budget year. You're also prioritizing everything throughout the course of the contract.
Yes, exactly. Like, for example, do you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the area where we are integrating our special voucher programs to mention them, these are specifically for EHV families. So in the event that we have available HCV vouchers, our housing choice vouchers, we can easily transition them.
I'm sorry, excuse me, not to interject.
Yeah.
Could you translate the
HV.
EHV for people watching?
Sure thing. EHV is the emergency housing vouchers.
Yes.
This is the families that are on their program is being discontinued.
Sure.
So we're anticipating at the end of the year that they're going to be out of the program.
These are the COVID folks.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Exactly.
Okay,
So HUD has mandated every PHA to put in their admin plan their roadmap as to how we're going to transition them, to HCV.
Right.
So in the event that HCV vouchers are available and,
Yes.
of course, depending on our budget, we will be able to do that with what I implemented in the admin plan.
It's good news.
Yes.
yeah, because we're collectively curious as to how that's gonna unfold. We would.
Impact you.
And how that impacts, so we can get something like that, some feedback when that roll starts to roll even further as it comes to that closing date,
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
and also if we could you, not to add any more work, could you potentially quantify, not right now, obviously, but eventually, once all this is being implemented, you get feedback from your staff, like what's the impact and what's the feedback been like once this is implemented, right?
okay,
So if we can get a quantified data driven backed report, there's no time frame. I guess as the months progress, you can get back to us and
okay,
let us know so that we can equally provide any added assistance that you and your staff would need. So, because I know when we implement changes like this, we're already on course and then changes come in, so we have to change courses to accommodate all these new changes so that those new changes create a different scenario and or outcome. So we want to make sure that, you have all the resources and your staff have the resources necessary to make sure it runs as smoothly as possible.
okay.
Yeah.
And rest assured, I'm just coming up with another example in regards to our third and fourth inspection, reinspection fees that we're going to push off to landlords. And I just want to make that clear. It doesn't go off to the tenants. It's not charged to them. It's all towards the landlords. We've already, I guess, built it out how that's going to work. So while this is moving, I also have another part that we're almost there to implement. So I'm working side by side, the changes of the admin plan, working with my staff and then also finding ways of how to actually implement it. So if this was to move forward, essentially in next week, we can make it live.
Nice.
So I'm just saying that the things that are in the admin plan I'm already thinking about what to do and how to build that up. So when it does, or if it does move through as an approval, we are ready on the back end to implement it. So there's no, how do I say this? There wouldn't be any additional step.
Yes.
Good. Good. Great to hear. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
See you
But
later.
yes, I will. I will get feedback from my staff.
It's not pressing, it's just more so collectively, the board would like to see how, all of these new implementations are taking effect and how they are positively and negatively impacting, the tenants and the landlords, and of course, you and your staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we can, again, we can stay flexible enough to continue to assist and support any and everything that you need. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, Nicole, for everything. Okay, commissioners, anything else? I'm not hearing or seeing none. Commissioners, are you ready to take a vote on it? Okay. All right, may I get a motion on the floor to approve item number 2?
Chair, I move to approve this resolution number FY 2026-019 to adopt proposed amendments to Section 8 Housing Choice Program Administrative Plan.
Thank you, Commissioner Lopez. May I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice. And show of hands, we can take a vote. 1, 2, 3, 4. Motion approves. Congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Yes.
Please.
That's a lot of work. You and your staff.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Yes. Extend our gratitude. Yeah. All right. Okay, moving along, under new business, item number 3, resolution number FY 2026-020. Resolution approving the annual PHA plan for Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Programs, FY 2027. Madam Director, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vice Chairman. Resolution approving the annual PHA plan for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Programs, fiscal year 2027. Whereas pursuant to Section 511 of the Quality Housing and Work Responsibility Act, in parentheses QHWRA of 1998, the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority is mandated to develop and submit a public housing agency, or PHA, annual plan to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD. And whereas the PHA annual plans for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Programs are comprehensive guides to the authority's policies, programs, operations, and strategies, and progress for meeting local housing needs and goals for implementation for the upcoming fiscal year. And whereas the goals and objectives of the PHA annual plans for calendar year 2026, fiscal year 2027 are consistent with Guam's 5-year consolidated plan, which identifies and prioritizes the housing and community development needs of Guam. And whereas the PHA annual plans were prepared with the PHA plan requirements 24 CFR Part 903, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority hereby approves the Public Housing Agency, PHA, annual plan for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Programs for calendar year 2026, fiscal year 2027. And the following pages, page 7, 8, and 9, actually all the way through page 11, actually give a summary of what is included in the annual plan. And again, we have Nicole Alejandro, our Section 8 Administrator, present to answer any questions you may have. And I think maybe if you looked under page 8 of the financial resources, there is a section there that does talk about the like halfway down, almost halfway down. I think the HUD released a notice 2025-28 that has to do with reducing housing assistance payments or HAP expenses to prevent shortfalls or reference for PHAs working with the HUD shortfall prevention team. And the reason I bring that up is because we have had a lot of landlords and actually tenants bring up concerns regarding the downsizing of their household bedroom size. Like let's say, for example, from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom. And just so that you are aware, because there have been numerous people that have sent in concerns regarding that, I would like to have Nicole elaborate on that so that everybody is aware of the mandate from HUD to prevent shortfalls in the budget by following cost-cutting measures. So maybe Nicole, if you could maybe bring up some of those concerns that tenants and landlords have regarding the decrease in household bedroom size and also the decrease in HAP payments because of that mandate from HUD.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Liz. Yes, that is true. So if you look at, as Ms. Liz had noticed, I had mentioned, the notice, the PIH notice of 2025-2028, it was released in November. This was a mandate from HUD where they mentioned that we have to abide by cost saving measures, which they issued out in another notice. Essentially, they wanted what HUD has been noticing, and this isn't just unique to Guam, right? This is federal. This is all the PHAs around the country. Everyone has to follow these cost saving measures, which is what we did. And what HUD has been seeing, in their numbers, there's been a few like fraudulent activities that are going on, as well as overspending within HUD. So they needed everyone to essentially regulate and balance their budget, which is what we've been practicing for the past year. And as a consequence, we did have a lower payment standard. Our FMR did go down by 10%, which is what we reviewed back in November of 2025, which is one thing that we had to do to be compliant with this cost saving measure and this notification. Another thing that we did, we have to maximize our vouchers. So what I mean by that is without overcrowding, we do have to look at the voucher size and the family composition, meaning how many people are in the family. And we have to allocate the number of bedroom, for that family. So typically for a family of 4, they would get a 2-bedroom. So our practice is 2 heartbeats per room, with the living room being used as a sleeping area that can hold up to 2. So this is a regulation that we have from HUD. And the reason being that they want us to do that is, again, to balance our budget, right? They've seen that over a course of so many years, not just unique to Guam and GHURA, it is all around the country with other PHAs that are experiencing this. So this is just something that HUD had wanted us to do, which is what we're practicing. And it is very effective, I have to say, in a sense where our budget is going down, which is exactly what HUD had anticipated. And, as I mentioned, we've been in very close connection with the shortfall team, and they've allowed us to follow up, with them every month to kind of show where we're at, give projections of how many vouchers are issued out in the streets, how many residents are in units, and what is our contract. So Today, we are not in the shortfall, which is really great, but this is something that we've been practicing for the last 12 plus months.
If I may
So,
add to that, Mr. Vice Chair?
Yes, Dee. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Thank you.
So I just want to expand on what Nicole was saying nationally. So nationally, the Section 8 program has been over budget everywhere. This is not exclusive to Guam. I want to make it clear it's not as a matter of GHURA Section 8 not balancing the budget, right? We've been leasing up, and obviously costs have gone up for Guam in terms of rent. But this is nationally. And so that's why these policy changes happen at the HUD level for all PHAs across the board to balance the budget. So it's not unique. What happens year over is Congress would appropriate a separate amount of funds known as the HAP shortfall, which will cover PHAs, Section 8 programs that are falling short, and they'll provide them more money to keep the vouchers going. That funding is not guaranteed anymore, right? And they will not provide that funding if you have not implemented cost-cutting measures. And so that is equal across the board to all PHAs, all Section 8 programs across the country. That being said, we implemented the cost-cutting measures, of course, to balance the budget, come in alignment with HUD's policies and direction. Additionally, we want to make sure we don't ever fall in that position where that funding isn't provided should we need it, and we're having to terminate families from the program in order to balance the budget. So before there was, different administrations or different times that shortfall was healthier, but costs of rent have gone up, FMRs have gone up across the entire country, but most of the country, I would say, and we just want to make sure that we're not in that situation where we have to terminate people from the program. So, the feds are taking stock, HUD's taking stock, Congress is taking stock of how much they're spending into this, and the cost control measures are applied across the board. And so HUD's guidance was, you don't have to implement these measures, but do so at your own risk. Because if you don't, we're not gonna back you up. We're not gonna provide you more funds. Should you fall into a shortfall.
Thank you for that, Deputy Director, and Nicole, and that is the reason I brought it up, because you may get calls or have tenants bring that up as a concern, because it's been happening a lot, and we just want to make sure that everybody understands that it is not a local decision. It really is a national requirement for all the public housing agencies to cut costs, because if we have a shortfall, landlords may not get their payment, tenants may not get their payment. So we're trying to avoid that situation. So thank you, Dee Dee, and thank you, Nicole, for elaborating on that issue, so everybody is aware of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee Dee. And for Nicole, I'm sorry.
sorry, did you have?
No, yeah, I just wanted to define FMR term.
Fair market rent.
Thank you.
May I just add one more, just to close it, just to echo what Mr. Estevez had mentioned. The other option for us, if we were not to follow the cost saving measures, we would have to terminate families, which is what we wanted to avoid.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that was our number one priority to avoid. So just echoing what he said, we've sat down as a group and we made that decision to move in that direction, to follow it, as HUD had mapped it out for us.
Understood. Noted. Thank you. Thank you. Commissioners.
I guess this is something that should go up to the federal
Yeah.
level
Yes.
as far as, funding housing properly,
I'm glad you collectively have iterated that, this is not an isolated Guam issue. This is a nationwide federal issue. So thank you to all three of you for clarifying that for us and the public. Commissioner Roberts, please.
I have no question.
Okay. So with that being said, may I go ahead and get a motion on the floor to approve the resolution and FY 2026-020.
Okay, I move to approve resolution number FY 2026-020, resolution approving the annual PHA plan for the Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Programs for fiscal year 2027.
Thank you, Commissioner Torres. Make it a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And show of hands, can you get a vote? 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you, commissioners. The motion has been approved. Nicole, congratulations.
Thank you very
We look
much.
forward to your feedback and thank you again for all of your work. Yes, I know it's going to be up and down, but you know, you guys got a good team. And, yeah, and great leadership. Yep. Okay, moving along to item number 5, Executive Director's Report. Madam Director.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I would like to reserve project updates till the next board meeting. And maybe just check to see if the DD has any updates regarding DR that he might want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're underway already. We have a public hearing for substantial amendment 2. And so anytime there's a significant change in certain program requirements. And so we're not really changing any of the programs we had outlined in the beginning in the action plan. What we're doing is firming up important critical program details for the public and doing that through the substantial amendment in a transparent way in accordance with the citizen participation plan. So with that, the follow-up would be the policies and procedures for those specific programs that are queued up, ready for launch. We'll go to HUD for additional review and any comments or feedback, and then we'll be able to launch additional programs. Most significant is we're prepping to launch the second pillar, which is infrastructure. So that's the pot for infrastructure projects and programs and activities. That will be a competitive grant cycle. So we will be pushing out the notice of funding availability for eligible applicants.
Thank you, Dee. Appreciate it. Okay. Madam Director, anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam Director. Okay, moving on to item number 6, general discussion and announcements. Proposed scheduled board meeting will be Tuesday, June 23rd. However, we also are proposing the 25th. We'll reach a consensus amongst the other commissioners, and we will solidify that soon. Other than that, commissioners, anything else you want to add?
I have a question about the spelling on the village or courts and paper.
Is it
It just caught me driving up here from Gatineau.
Okay.
Seeing the sign on the welcome to Senahan, but the spelling is different.
okay?
SINAHANA instead of the we use. I'm not sure if that's,
Relevant?
yeah, but,
Where specifically?
oh, well, no, welcome to Senahan.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that's, spelling like the candidates change.
Sure.
And should we be making that change on our official documents?
I
I know
don't
that's a lot to do, but.
I don't have an answer for that. I'm sure that we'll get with legal when legal returns. So we're
I
not.
just remember that when legal wasn't gonna be here.
Yeah. So we'll bring that up. We'll discuss that with legal. Ms. Brittany, if you can take note, and
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and address that because that could be something that we want to address because especially during our board meetings, want to make sure everything is detailed and everything's spelled correctly. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Fine.
Yeah, I guess to add, that's the new orthography. I think that's for a lot of the place names that were changed, outdated.
Yeah. So the villages' names are different, and yeah. So
And it will also impact your reports to us to align everything to the new.
just for consistency,
Right.
right? Just for consistency. So, but yeah, we'll definitely address that with legal. Okay, that's a good point. We didn't even think about that. Thanks, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Okay, well, other than that, anything else? Okay, may I go ahead and get a motion on the floor to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Torres. Can I get a second?
Second that.
All right, can you show hand of votes? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are officially adjourned. The time is 12:45 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna, maybe just, if they could make the sound a little bit louder.